How is it going on, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video was actually requested by quite a lot of people in the comments and through social media. So today I'm going to be talking about things that you should be doing that will help you to land your first or new clients in the sports design industry. Obviously, they're not 100% guarantee, but I've certainly done these things in the past, and over the past couple of years they have helped me quite a lot, and I've secured quite a few clients using these techniques and tips, so hopefully they should be able to help you as well. Obviously it's not a guarantee, but these will definitely kind of give you a much higher chance of kind of getting your clients, getting your work seen by the right people, and obviously hopefully lead into further projects as well. So I'm going to be talking about 5 kind of different techniques in this video. Hopefully they will help you, and yeah, let's get into it. So the first technique or tip is tailoring your work or picking a niche. So essentially what this means is you want to be tailoring your work to kind of the clients that you want to be securing. So a good example of this, let's say if you want to be doing social media rebrand packages for, let's say, football clubs, you kind of want to be creating similar work and getting it out there so that people can see that obviously you are capable of doing those sort of projects. Because if they don't see it in your portfolio, then how will they know that you are even interested in these kind of jobs? So you kind of want to be pumping that sort of work out there. So like with mine, I did a Burnley FC kind of just a passion project, social rebrand, but this landed me a couple of clients within a week of posting this project and kind of posting it across social media, etc. So that was great. And you kind of want to keep I'm not necessarily saying just 100% pump out work that you kind of want to be doing, but I'd probably do a 50-50 split of kind of just your personal pieces that, you know, you're happy, you enjoy making, but you also want to be pumping out a couple of pieces that ideally this is the work that you want to be doing in the future, just so the right people will see it, and obviously then hopefully that will lead you to getting a good job opportunity. And picking a niche is kind of similar, as this will kind of help to get your name out there, and when people see a certain style of design, they will kind of automatically assume that, oh, you know, this is James' piece, or, you know, this is that sort of style if someone's like taking inspiration, but automatically they will associate your name with that style whenever they see it. So again, kind of a good example, a couple of years back, I was using, if this loads, I was using a lot of distortion and displacement maps in my work. As you can see, this messy piece, a lot of distorted textures and kind of elements in the background. Similar with this mount piece, again, similar with this Salah piece, you know, the liver bird distorted in the background, and then a couple of more, again, just playing around with different elements. But then this kind of led me to a lot of people following me and straight away kind of saying, oh, you know, this is my style, and a lot of people were commenting, and I'm getting a lot of traction from this. So it kind of really helped to boost my name out there. I gained a lot of followers in this amount of time. And yeah, it was just fun to play around with something new. Obviously, I don't really post stuff like this now, but it was good to kind of experiment to enhance your skill set and just create a good base for your followers as well, to kind of, you know, whenever they see a piece like, oh, it's James, and then they'll drop you a follow if they're not following already, etc. So for number 1, yeah, tailor your work, and hopefully, if you can, obviously it's easier said than done, pick a niche, and hopefully that will help to get your name out there. So now number 2 is know your target audience. It kind of links to number 1, but let's say I know that my target audience, especially on Twitter or X, a lot of it is Chelsea fans. So I know that if I post a Chelsea piece of work, that's going to get a lot more likes than, let's say, if I posted, you know, like a Real Madrid or any kind of other club piece of work. Obviously, those clubs have got quite a large fan base on social media anyway. So if you put the correct hashtags in, or if a big account kind of retweets it or shares it, you know, that's obviously going to get a lot of traction. But knowing your target audience definitely helps. And again, if you're pumping out a certain type of work, similar to the first point, this will help you to build a follower base that expects you to be posting those kinds of pieces, and then automatically, again, they will associate you with those kinds of pieces when they see it on the feed. So yeah, it just helps you to kind of, rather than, you know, when you're posting, let's say 95% of pieces are Chelsea FC based, and then if you post a random piece based on something else or a completely different sport or style, then people are going to see it and be like, but, you know, that doesn't really appeal to me, or they might even unfollow. But overall, obviously, I'm quite bad with this because I do post a lot of Chelsea stuff, But try and kind of keep it consistent with what you're posting. Probably a 50-50 split of, like let's say a target club, but the other 50% you'd kind of want it to be some other pieces that you work on, maybe even a completely different sport or a few different sports, just to kind of keep a wide focus, I'd probably say, or just a wide kind of range of work that you create, so that you're not limiting yourself with your following, as obviously that will kind of gatekeep moving forward, and then more people will just associate you with just one kind of style, one club that you work for, and then that'll kind of be it, and they won't really think of you in any of the projects or pieces that they see. So yeah, that's number 2. Now, number 3 is showcasing your offering or work. Again, this is kind of similar to the previous 2 pieces, but when you kind of use the first 3 points all together, it really creates a strong base and a strong kind of platform to build upon. And yeah, showcasing your work is very, very important, as like I was saying in the first point, obviously if people don't see the work that you're pumping out, they will not have a clue what you do, what you're good at, what you're kind of interested in doing, what's your range of skills. And Behance, I think, is one of the best kind of free platforms to be using to showcase your work. It's really easy to create projects. I've got quite a few, and it's just really, really easy to showcase a lot of work as well. So let's say if I was to go into the 23-24 season, you can post as many kind of pictures and pieces as you want into this grid, and it'll keep it nicely organized. And also what you can do, you can add a few more so it's not just text basically in your project. You kind of want to add a couple of pictures with a bit of text, just to help break it up a bit and keep a nice kind of layout to the projects that you're doing, just to kind of frame the pictures as well, not just so it's like this essentially. But it's a good thing to have like a variety of both. Obviously I've got a couple if it's just like a large whole project for the entire season of the pieces that I've done during that time, then I'll probably do something like this. But if it's more kind of for a smaller project based on one thing, I would try and mix it up with a bit of text and obviously a few designed banners or image kind of blocks that will help you just to kind of make it look even better. Maybe I've done a little bit here. Yeah, so as you can see, just mixing a bit of type and imagery together, having a bit of an explanation, but then just nicely trying to frame the individual pieces, mixing it up with a few mock-ups, adding, pieces on a bit of a background, and then mixing it up with the grid, and then kind of so on and so forth. But yeah, showcasing your work is really important. A dedicated portfolio site would also be great. I know that Adobe have got a portfolio website available if you have the overall subscription for Creative Cloud. I think it's free on that, so it's definitely worth checking out. But yeah, for free, Behance, I think, is probably one of the best platforms to be using. If you're not on it already, definitely get on it. And obviously it's great for finding kind of inspiration. So if you hop on Behance, you can see any new projects as well. You can kind of filter and personalize your feed, but it's great for inspiration, great for getting your name out there, great for showcasing your work. So I would definitely recommend it. So the 4th technique or tip is building your network, ideally through specific social medias like LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I'm not that good on Instagram myself, to be honest, but LinkedIn and Twitter are definitely my kind of go-to social media platforms to kind of push your work out there as well, along with your portfolio site, Behance, but also just to kind of connect with similar-minded creatives or people from design studios or working for clubs. It's a really, really great way to grow your network, and again, kind of get your contact list kind of going, so you know who to reach out to if you want to be involved in a particular project. But if you keep growing your network on LinkedIn, then it's improving the chance of the right person seeing the work at the right time. Obviously, chances don't really come to you, unfortunately. It's very, very rare that happens. But you want to put yourself in the best position possible, and you want to do that by growing your network so that, it only takes one person to see the piece that they'd ideally want someone to work on a project. So if they see something that they like on your profile, they'll hopefully get in touch for a similar project moving forward, and then obviously that leads to a constant amount of work. But yeah, LinkedIn's really easy for this. I've kind of dedicate a little bit of time every 2 weeks usually, just kind of going through your network, and then literally just going into just creatives that you may know and seeing if there's anyone that you potentially do know and you've not connected with yet, or if there is anyone that you potentially want to get in touch with, or working at let's say ESPN, senior designer at ESPN. That's a great organization to hopefully try and get involved with. So you probably want to connect, or any kind of any other organizations with people kind of higher ups or, project managers and things like that you'd ideally want to get in touch with. And then if they end up seeing your work, they might get in touch with you for a project in the future. So, definitely worth dedicating like even 15-20 minutes every other week, just going through this, suggested creatives you may know, and just adding a few people. Hopefully, obviously, they'll accept your follow or connection request, and then obviously that will hopefully lead to further work. But this is great. I have had quite a lot of success with this. And yeah, it's just a nice way to grow your network as well. Then it obviously that projects onto your other platforms. The same thing with Instagram and Twitter. Just keep following people that you like the work of, obviously people that are working within certain organizations. And then overall, that'll help you to build a network across the social media channels, which will hopefully lead to a lot more work. And then number 5, the last and final kind of point, is reaching out to people. Obviously, cold calling is a little bit of a gray area, as I'm not too keen on doing this. But if you do connect with someone on LinkedIn that you kind of really want to get in touch with, and you love the work that they obviously get involved in, or if they are part of a creative design studio that you want to kind of hopefully get involved in, or if you, let's say, want to maybe potentially get placement there or a potential job, you'd want to just reach out to them and just kind of get your name out there so people, again, just know who you are. Hopefully attach a little portfolio link in there as well, but don't be kind of too pushy with this. A couple of messages will probably be the max that you'd want to be sending out. If you get ignored, you get ignored. It doesn't work every single time. It is tricky because people don't really like being bombarded with people out of the blue, kind of requesting them to take a look at the work, or kind of pushing the work in the faces. But it does work. Some people are very open to this. It's a good way to get your name out there, again, just so people know who you are. Hopefully they'll look through your portfolio, so again, they'll recognize the kind of the style of work that you produce, and hopefully they will then start to associate that style of work whenever they see it online with you, and then hopefully that will lead to them getting in touch with you. But yeah, the two, so number 4 and 5 kind of work together again, like the first 3. But yeah, growing your LinkedIn network is very good for this. Obviously, it's very easy to reach out to people, drop them a message, hopefully get in touch, start a conversation, even if it's just very casual. You don't have to be pushing your work straight away. It's just nice to have those kind of relationships in the industry, just to, again, like I keep saying, just so people know who you are. And then hopefully if they see your work, you might not hear from them straight away, but if they do have a project in the future that they think you would be great for, they will obviously automatically kind of associate that work. Oh yeah, James would be great for this. They'll get in touch, and hopefully, again, that will lead to you gaining more clients. But yeah, those are the 5 techniques / tips. Like I said, it's not 100% guarantee, but you kind of have to fashion these opportunities for yourself, as they don't really come around too often, like I said, kind of passively to you. When you've got a larger following, a lot of people have eyes on your work, then potentially they will just kind of come to you. People will reach out kind of organically to you to offer you projects. But when you're starting out, it is pretty difficult. It's quite a saturated market, so it's hard to kind of get through the ranks and kind of stick out in the sea of grey. Essentially, you want to kind of stand out. You want to do something different. You want to push your work and get the right people to see your work. So these 5 techniques hopefully will help you to do that. And yeah, if you have any questions, obviously drop them down in the comments below. I'll try my best to answer anything that you guys may have. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to answer 100% of the questions, as sometimes there's things that I don't know. I'm not amazing at this, but I have had quite a few years of experience doing this kind of stuff. So if there is anything that I can share, I will share it with you guys. But yeah, that's kind of it. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video and you found the tips helpful, do drop a like, and obviously subscribe if you want to see more of my content. And yeah, let me know if this does work for you. Drop me a message on, on Twitter, Instagram, or drop a comment on my YouTube videos. If you manage to get work through this, that would be great. I always love hearing from people and kind of seeing that my videos do help someone out there, which is great. So I'm not just pumping these out for kind of the sake of it and no one's finding them useful. But yeah, this is kind of it for this video, and I will see you guys within the next couple of weeks in my next one.